Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the recent decision taken by the US administration, specifically President Trump, where he had decided to withdraw from the WHO, that is the World Health Organization. So we'll also try to understand that how this decision of his not only is going to impact US, but also is going to have impact on India and other part of the world as well. So to give you a brief basic background of this particular topic, the first of or one of the first executive order that the President Trump has signed after taking oath of the office was to withdraw from the WHO, and this happened on what we can call as the very first day of the office. And this move is not something surprising because even during his first tenure of presidency, he has also tried to do same. He tried to withdraw US from the WHO, and in this context, he already has notified the UN Secretary General of this decision of his. On the other hand, many health experts across the world, even from the WHO, argues that such decision obviously is concerning because US has one of the lead financer or lead what you can say fund giving country in the world, and also it provided expertise by deploying its medical health professionals and workers, so that obviously WHO will face we can say a loss of and decline of. Now, if you look at more specifically the executive order in this regard, four major points has been mentioned. Now, under this order, US will not transfer any of the funds and resources to WHO, and whatever funding that US earlier has talked about or US earlier has guaranteed, that will be brought to pause. The second order is that all US government personnel or contractors working in any capacity with the WHO will be recalled. Obviously, as the WHO and the US are completely severing the ties, this step also stems from logic. Third is US will identify credible and transparent US and international partners to assume necessary activities previously that was undertaken by WHO. And fourth, that any kind of negotiation where the US was involved in WHO toward the pandemic treaty, there also US will basically seize this. Pandemic treaty was very important treaty. It was brought into existence after learning the lessons from COVID-19 to have a collaborative concerted effort across the global level, across the world level to tackle such issues or such pandemics if it arises in the future. Now, if you look at the financial implications, that is where the we can say effect will be largely seen, because withdrawal of the US is likely to have a huge impact on the WHO. If you talk about the agency itself, almost 20% of its entire funding was only from the United States. Now, if you talk about the WHO's funding also, it receives funding from two sources. First, what is referred as mandatory assessed contribution. This mandatory assessed contribution is something that is taken from all the members of the WHO. And other is the voluntary contribution that is raised from various countries as well as philanthropic organizations. Now, over a period of time, what we have observed is that the mandatory assessed contribution, its share in the overall funding of the organization has continuously declined. On the other hand, the share of voluntary contribution has increased. And this we can understand from the fact that today it makes up less than 20%. Assessed contribution makes up less than 20% of the entire funding of WHO. Now, why US's withdrawal will have a significant dent on the pocket of WHO, this we can understand from this particular graph. As you can see that US is the lead contributor in the WHO, and the year 2022 it has contributed an amount equivalent of 109 million US dollars. And the second number we have the China, which has contributed almost, we can say, roughly one half, or we can say 50% of the US contribution. And this is also a point of contention that Trump has raised, that China has 300% more population than US, still it is contributing less fund than the United States. So this was also one of the ground of contention. Then other top contributing countries are Japan, Germany, UK, France, Italy and Brazil. And that is why US departure is very significant. Now, if you look at the India specifically, you know that WHO has been involved in many programs across India with participation from the Indian health workers, and a significant proportion of the funding, as it has lost due to the departure of WHO, is obviously going to impact the India's program as well. And as per the experts, the major areas where we can see the issues is in the area of research related to neglected tropical diseases, where which is prevalent in India. Second, HIV, malaria and tuberculosis related research. Third is antimicrobial resistant related work that was being done. And fourth is obviously the immunization program focusing upon the children's, that also is going to suffer a blow, because the WHO's contribution, not only in the terms of monetary contribution, but also in the terms of expertise, in the terms of the personal resources, all will face a crunch. So a funding cut like this would mean they will not be able to effectively implement these programs which earlier they were part of. And most importantly, the loss of expertise also we have to highlight here, because WHO as main role also is to provide guidance to the countries in tackling with endemics, pandemics and spread of any kind of diseases. And this is done by producing a framework guidelines. It is this framework guidelines that WHO releases are utilized and adapted by countries for their local programs. Now this framework guideline is something that is created by the expert committees who inspect, investigate a lot of evidences about the details of the diseases, whether the disease is endemic to certain areas or not, and it is developed by collecting all published evidences, grading them and then discussing them. So obviously the US departure will cause a crunch in the fund, where they will be having problem, the WHO will having problem in hiring the adequate number of people, and plus also US CDC, talk about Central for Disease Control, it used to have a significant impact in the expert committee. So that is something that we will not see anymore present in WHO. So the key to international surveillance and response to health threat, that is the area where one would expect a major problems or major blow. Now the question that might be coming into your mind is that if any country desires, whenever, can it withdraw from WHO? If yes, what is the procedure? Now if we talk about the case of US, as far as the WHO is concerned, there is no such set provision for withdrawing from its constitution. The withdrawal of USA is based on the 1948 mandate that United States Congress has given while becoming a member of WHO. In this mandate, it has clearly stated that if US, whenever it wants in the future, it could withdraw from the WHO by fulfilling two conditions. What is the condition? First condition was it will have to give a 1 year notice, and second, it will have to meet the financial obligations of the current year in which it is trying to withdraw. If these conditions are fulfilled, the country, and specifically US, is free to withdraw. Now obviously, due to the departure of the United States from this prestigious global organization, it is going to what you can say leave a huge void, and this void largely will be filled up, or the vacuum we can say largely will be filled up by the other countries. And the major countries which can try to fill the gap is obviously China and the countries from global south, including India. Not only that, since as we have discussed, the voluntary contribution to the WHO has continuously been rising, so the philanthropic organizations, especially we talk about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, their role can also further increase and their contribution can also further see a uptick here. Now, India has also positioned itself right at the top of the voice of Global South. The Global South, we talk about largely, it has countries from the continents of South America, Africa, and Asia. So these are the countries, and the leaders such as China and India will have responsibility to take the mantle here. However, in conclusion, what we can say is what the WHO's statement has talked about, that United States has always been an effective partner for this particular organization, and the participation of this country, WHO has over the past 7 years implemented the largest set of reforms in its history to transform our accountability, cost effectiveness and impact on the countries. So obviously this decision of President Trump is catastrophic in nature, and the probability is that maybe in the next administration, we have to wait and watch, maybe this decision can be reversed by the another president. That is all about this particular video. You got the gist. I hope you got the gist of the entire decision of the President Trump and its overall impact on the world and India. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with fellow aspirants, and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.